I'll call this meeting to order of the Common Council, Tuesday, January 13th, 7 p.m. Can I have your roll call, please?
Boyd. Here. Griswold. Here. Neighbor.
Here.
Hill. Here. Stubby.
Here.
Got all six here.
Thank you.
Oh, you didn't call me.
Oh, I didn't? Sorry then.
Here.
Thanks. We were on to number 2, which is seat virtual attendees, which we do not have any. Number 3 is general public comments. We do not have any of those. On to the consent agenda. Anybody like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda? I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Terry, second by Missy, right? Can I have a roll call, please?
Sorensen.
Aye.
Griswold. Aye. Boyd. Aye. Stubby.
Aye.
Neighbor.
Aye.
Hill. Aye. Passes with 6.
Thank you. Number 8 is the uniform deposit schedule amendment adoption. Recommendation, waive review by the committee of the whole and approve the recommendation of the police chief to add ordinance number 10-7D, chicken licensing required to the uniform deposit schedule. You okay?
Yes,
Approved.
I changed licensing to license, but the wrong version got copied.
Okay.
My apologies.
Approved originally October 14th, 2025, and effective January 1st, 2026. So if you guys all can see, Noah, is that why you're here tonight?
Yeah.
For the big chicken license, okay. So basically, the chicken licensing stuff was just never on the fee schedule.
Correct.
And so to enforce anything, forfeiture wise or else, we have to have this. So these were some, costs that the chief and Jesse kind of came up with, or chief.
He said it was consistent with, what has been done with the dog kennel licensing. So it's, if that makes sense to, for comparing purposes.
I will remind everybody that it's a lot cheaper to just get your chicken license at $10 a year and do it the right way. So you're not in this position. Does anybody have any questions for Noah or Jesse?
I'll make a motion to waive review by the committee of the whole and approve the recommendation of the police chief to add ordinance 10-7D chicken license required to the uniform deposit schedule.
Second. I'll second.
Motion by Victoria, seconded by Josh. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Number 9 is to accept the resignation of Park and Recreation Commission member, Bobby Erdman from the Park and Recreation Commission as of January 7th, 2026.
We know Bobby has worked very hard for the city on many years and that she kind of went to park and recreation as a last hurrah. So I'll make a motion to accept her resignation with our thanks.
Second.
Gosh, you guys are all fighting tonight. Motion by Victoria, I'll go to Terry. Second to Terry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And in the past, I don't know if you guys have heard this or not before, but can we get a card out to,
Thank you, Craig.
yeah, to Bobby for her many years of service to a lot of the boards, but especially this one.
Absolutely.
Number 10 is the liquor license request of Brizzy's Class B combination liquor and beer licenses and outdoor activities area at alcohol beverage license establishment permit at 186 Broadway Street, Berlin, Wisconsin, 54923. The recommendation is to approve the liquor license application as presented. So there is a note in here, I don't know if you guys all got a chance to read it. As far as the background. Jesse, if you want to touch on it, you can.
I was just gonna say that there is a suggested motion because liquor license transfers are a little, touchy because they have to have the, location, you know, they have to have, you can only have one license for one location, so they have to have that transfer. The license has to be, given back by the current holder of the license and all that. So those things are kind of clarified within the motion. If you're comfortable with that, or if you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. Was there something else that I was supposed to cover?
No,
Oh,
just that.
So is the motion that's, the recommendation that's written here on the agenda, that's got everything?
No memo, if you would.
In the memo,
And there's two pieces. There's approval of the actual liquor license, and then there's the outdoor activity area, which there's a map of that in the packet as well. You can see what they're talking about.
Okay, I'll make a motion to grant a combination Class B license to Grizzlies for the premises identified in their application dated 12/26/25, provided that the city clerk shall not issue the license unless and until the city clerk receives all of the following. 1, full and unconditional surrender of the license currently in effect for the premises. 2, proof to the city clerk's satisfaction that the applicant either owns the premises or has approval from the owner for the issuance of the license. 3, all applicable fees and costs are paid, along with any delinquencies owed to the city, if any. 4, proof that the seller's permit has been issued to the applicant by the state of Wisconsin. And 5, all conditions must be satisfied within 30 days of this approval, or this approval is void. And motion,
We gotta do
Just
one at a time.
Second.
motion by Terry, second by Josh, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We're looking for that second motion.
I'll make a motion to approve a permit for an outdoor activity area at Alcoholic Beverage License Establishment for Grizzlies LLC, located at 186 Broadway Street, Holtenburg, agent.
I'll second.
Motion by Terry, second by Josh, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. On to number 11 is amendments to service agreements with Shire Law Office and Gretzky Law to allow for the smooth transition of service provision for municipal court attorney services to the city of Berlin. Recommendation is, again, waive the review, that's going to be the theme tonight, by the committee of the whole, and to approve the amendments to the service agreements.
You already, of course, approved Drexel taking over, which would have been January 23rd, with Shire continuing service through the 22nd. However, just to transfer any cases that are not completed at that point and make sure that they've had an opportunity to kind of discuss the process and everything, this gives them from now until that time to work with a lot, to allow them to much better, if you're comfortable with that. And the city attorney also did a quick review and they accepted his addition, so.
Thankfully, they both are able to work together to make this a smooth transition. A little bit of shadowing and training together just to see how the process is, but I think this is very good for everyone.
I'll make a motion to waive review by the committee of the whole and approve the proposed procedures and amendments to the service agreement with Shire Law and Drexel Law for the transition of municipal court attorney services to the city of Berlin.
Second.
Motion by Victoria, seconded by Missy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 12 is the EMS Director Job Description Update. The recommendation is again waive review by the committee of the whole and approve the Emergency Medical Services Director Job Description.
So as you may recall, when we were looking at budgeting process, we requested of the county to add another EMT to our group in order to allow our current director to focus on just director stuff, as he also runs the shift quite often as well. And that is incredibly demanding. He's done an amazing job for a long time, but in moving forward, I think it is far more reasonable and appropriate to have someone that's their main focus is running that department and all the administrative stuff that goes with it. He has lots of meetings and groups that he's also working with and stuff like that. So, what this would do is basically create just that, position. And Evan went through and contacted some peers and then created this from that. And so if you have any questions, concerns, or thoughts, he certainly knows a lot more about it than I do, but I'm happy to try to help as well.
Evan, how long have you done all jobs per se? How long have you carried on? I mean, I'd like to know that it's commendable that you have carried on and done all this and worn all the hats, but
2018 is when I, was told that I was gonna do this now.
okay. Well, thank you for all the hard work, because we do know that you've worn a lot of hats, and I'm sure you're looking forward to a little bit less weight on the shoulders.
We'll see.
Yeah, we have to get another person
I was
on
gonna say,
board
yeah, right.
before we will be fully staffed, but. Correct?
Yep.
We're fully staffed now, but once we move to this, we'll be down in EMT.
I'll make a motion to waive review by the committee of the whole and approve the emergency medical services director job description.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Number 13 is amend the common council committee of the whole and regular common council meeting schedules due to the 2026 elections. Recommendation is to reschedule the April 7th committee of the whole meeting to April 8th due to the spring election, and then the August 11th meeting to the 12th, to the partisan primary election, and then reschedule the November 3rd to the 5th, because Wednesday there's a police and fire commission meeting.
I would note, if we reschedule the 3rd to the 5th, that's a committee of the whole meeting. Normally, your packet goes out to you on Thursday. You'd have to plan that I'm not gonna get it out to you on Thursday because I won't know what needs to be in that agenda from the committee of the whole that night. So it would for sure either have to be done Friday or Monday. Technically, by statute, we have to have 24 hours, but our ordinances say that I'm supposed to get it to you 72 hours prior, so not to anybody else but to the council. So I would fail in that little piece there if we do that. So I'm perfectly happy, as long as you are aware, to do that, or you can cancel the committee of the whole and run it similar to what we did this month. And the reason I also throw that out there is because October and November, you're probably going to have an extra meeting or two with budget prep. So up to you, but you could choose to cancel that committee of the whole if you wish to. If you feel that we're gonna have a lot to discuss at that meeting, you can move it to the 5th.
We will have to have that final budget meeting. Is there one in November that we have to have? The 3rd?
So what we have done, the last couple of years has been to do the budget hearing a half an hour ahead of our normal regular meeting, or normal time, so 6:30 on the, 10th.
But then there's nothing the 24th, or is that another month I'm thinking of?
Planning commission is always the 4th Tuesday.
No, I mean like the adoption.
No, it's all on the 10th.
Oh, I was thinking the whole Veterans Day thing.
Right,
Okay,
if that happens again, we can pick a different day
Yeah.
for.
okay. Do we think that we need that week before to solidify any last? I mean, this year was a little rough. We had a lot of meetings, I feel like, with budget stuff. Hopefully it's not as bad next year, but I say, can we leave it for the 5th? And if we feel like we don't need it when we're getting closer, we can always cancel it, right?
Of course.
I would feel better about that. Let's wait and play it by ear, because who knows, we might still need that meeting. Does anybody else have any other input?
Sounds like a good idea.
So just leave it as it's presented.
So, yeah.
I'll make a motion to reschedule the committee of the whole meeting on Tuesday, April 7th, 2026 to Wednesday, April 8th, 2026. Reschedule the common council meeting on Tuesday, August 11th, 2026 to Wednesday, August 12th, 2026, and reschedule the committee of the whole meeting on Tuesday, November 3rd to Thursday, November 5th, 2026. All rescheduled meetings to begin at 7 p.m.
I'll second that.
Motion by Sam, second by Terry, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes, thank you. Number 14 is amend the fee schedule. The recommendation is waive review by the committee of the whole and approve the city of Berlin's amended fee schedule.
So you've seen this fee schedule a couple of times. Staff realized that when we, put it together last time, somehow we lost a line from the Excel spreadsheet. I don't know if we did it accidentally or what, but it's been found. And so we just want to make sure that the full version is approved.
And there was only one line, right?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to waive review by the committee of the whole and approve the city of Berlin amended fee schedule.
Motion by Terry, second by Missy, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 15, the super exciting copier agreement.
Yes. So just before the holidays, we received notification that the printer that we have over here, our copier machine, is no longer going to be serviced, I believe, as of February due to the age of the equipment and their inability to get parts for it. As well as the fact that our main machine downstairs, next to the clerk's office, they're saying they for sure won't do after November. So these machines are owned by the city and we pay an agreement for maintenance and supplies basically, so printing and taking care of it and all that, or excuse me, not printing, printing cartridges, the ink. And so we reached out to different places to ask for a proposal. After reviewing these, I think that moving forward with a lease agreement makes more sense because that way, if anything happens to the machine over the term of the lease, which these are all for 5 years, they fix it or they replace it. If we buy the machine and something happens, yes, it'll be in our maintenance agreement potentially, but we're still ultimately gonna have those costs. So, one of the companies also provided both a used machine and a new machine rate. For the number of copies that we anticipate making, the rate is better to go with the used machine, the monthly anticipated total. As well as E.O. Johnson is proposing that it's per page rather than having an amount of pages preset. So most of these, what happens is they pick an amount of pages that they assume is going to be your average, and that's included in your monthly cost, and then you pay a per page additional amount if you go over that for black and white color or color pages. Now, the reason that we like the E.O. Johnson one is that we never pay for more pages than we use. And since you're gonna pay for any over that average anyway, there's no savings. I'm gonna pay for 2,000 pages if I only use 800. If I go to 2,100, I still have to pay for those extra 100. So let's just pay for this number straight up, and they offer that in their proposal. So staff is recommending that we move forward with E.O. Johnson for the proposal.
Where were they out of again?
Oh.
I was just curious what their service time looks like if something goes down.
Oh, yeah, they
Like, are they,
weren't real far. I have to
that's fine, I just.
it says definitely in, I have it on here. There you go, Johnson. But they do have, also they have a call center that is local as well. So they deal with our questions and concerns here rather than.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
Wausau.
Wausau?
Thank you. And what we would propose to do is cancel our agreement with Born and Flesh, at the same time for both machines, and then, start in a new contract for both machines. So that we're not dealing with one for one for the other, so just start it off, and they will remove those machines for us.
I'll make a motion to waive review by the committee of the whole and approve a 5-year copier lease and service agreement with EO for the 5-gauge option.
You want the used or-
Used. I'll second that.
Motion by Victoria, second by Terry, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. On to number 16, which is resolution number 26-01 to designate polling place for the city of Berlin and Green Lake and Washington counties. Recommendation is to waive review by the committee of the whole and approve resolution 26-01 designating 253 South Church Street in Berlin, the River Shores Church, as the new polling place for wards 1 through 7 in the city of Berlin, beginning with the April 7th spring election.
Does anybody have any questions?
So we know that the Berlin Armory has been used for several years. However, they have been notified that it is scheduled to be sold. So we need to, it can't be leased to hold our polling anymore, so we needed to look elsewhere. And you guys have kind of done the research and checked different places that would be most suitable, and this was the one that fit the bill.
Yes, yes. Staff has been over there a couple of times, and they are excited to provide this service to the community, and they suggested that they'll do it for the same cost that we've been paying to the Armory for a number of years. So we're very happy that came up with really nice option. The Armory's been wonderful for many years, and we're very appreciative of the staff there and all of their help. But unfortunately, that's not going to be available, so River Shores is looking like they're going to be just as wonderful of a host.
I'll make a motion to waive review of the committee of the whole and approve the River Shores Church Building located at 253 South Church Street as a polling location for the elections to be held on April 7th, August 11th, and November 3rd, 2026, and approve resolution number 26-01 to designate polling place for the city of Berlin and Green Lake and Washington counties.
I'll second.
Motion by Terry, second by Christina. Can I have a roll call, please?
Stefani? Aye. Griswold?
Aye.
Boyd?
Aye.
Hill? Abstain? Sorensen?
Aye.
Neighbor?
Motion carries. Number 17 is the economic development recap. And Tim has a little presentation for us.
Okay, well, just as,
A presentation of what we have.
as it notes on here, I believe the last time that I've given one of these, and maybe the only time, was a couple years ago, so felt like it was appropriate to just give you all some data to make of it as you will. We do have a net gain, I'd say, of, by those calculations, one for 24 and 25. However, if you take that as the sound bit, it would sort of sell that short as far as what's actually been happening. Quite a bit of retention and quite a bit of new, and I mean, some things have run their course, and that's also fine. I mean, I think that the health of the community economically is fair good. And I think there's some very positive momentum going into 2026 and things happening behind the scenes. Good partnerships with the Berlin Community Development Corporation, city, and other partners that I'd say gives us quite a bit of hope going forward. I mean, obviously, there's always, I think that you will have goals that see things even get bigger and better, but yeah, that's, I'd say, all that in a nutshell.
And I know that the positive net gain of one sounds minimal, but there's a lot of names on these lists. So thankfully, we've had, one door closes, another door opens. There are still a lot to fill that void then.
Oh, and I guess I should also add, if going forward, if council would like to have any other information, if there's anything that's missing in this, this was essentially an attempt to update what had been done in the past, and I think it had been done prior to my time too, but we can certainly try to track other stuff.
I think this is a good start. These are good. It's nice for us to see even just the ribbon cuttings. Just to bring a little bit of attention. I think some of these might get lost in some of that, but I think the work you guys are doing with even just that is a positive, and seeing all these on the list, I think this is something we should see every year. I think it's a good idea. Does anybody have any questions for Tim or any ideas for the future data?
Yeah, I just noticed that we have Fungi Fusion listed as a 25 and 24 new business.
I did see that.
Oh, well.
Weren't they operating out of their house in 24 and then they opened up their storefront in 25?
Yeah, that's.
Is that where they?
We did the storefront.
Oh, I see. That would,
Right.
I guess, be a move then, as opposed to a new business.
Hopefully we'll see more new businesses on the list for 2026 with the Green Tree Mall having new owners now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna have Chinese again?
They've been
open the whole time. They just have.
Yeah, I know, it's just not the same.
Oh, yeah, they don't ever do the same, they don't ever do the same.
Thank you for compiling this, Tim.
Good, thank you. Okay, number 18 is Employee Assistance Program Renewal. Recommendation is to waive the review by the Committee of the Whole and approve the State of Care at Work for Employee Assistance Program, EAP. Jesse?
Yes, this is a program that, this actually started the current year, started last April, and I believe it was a continuation at that point as well. So they're planning to do the same services for the same amount per employee. So it's an important benefit for if an employee needs, they can call for different kinds of services, confidential. I mean, the only kind of information that we get is if it has been used, but not by who or anything like that, just to know. So I think it's a benefit that it's good to have.
I'll make a motion to waive review of the Committee of the Whole and approve the contract with Theta Care at Work to provide employee assistance program services through March of 27.
Second.
Motion by Victoria, second by Missy, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 19 is a contract amendment for comprehensive plan services by MSA. The recommendation is to waive review of the Committee of the Whole and approve an additional $800 lump sum fee. The original contract amount was $29,980 to create a new existing land use map and add the map to the city's GIS online database.
That covers most of what I was going to say, but yeah, I can just add that we did have we staff have had some fairly lengthy conversations with MSA, and I say that this was determined to be the best option, the most cost-effective way to still really make the plan and the maps ultimately effective and useful for the span of their existence. So it'll get us to a point where we're starting with a good foundation and able to, I'd say, be pretty dynamic with the GIS and as a tool going forward.
I mean, I feel like these were 20-year-old maps that I feel like this is a good time, work smarter not harder, let's update them now while we're doing all this. Versus trying to make these old maps fit where they can.
So, can you walk me through, like I'm a dummy here, the comprehensive plan? I feel like we're talking about a comprehensive plan and we're also talking about maps. How are we, what's the joinder here? Help me understand this.
So the maps would be the tool that is part of the comprehensive plan, the land use implementation section that, I mean, when we've updated, as you may remember from in plan commission having the land use map amendments as well. It's essentially an overhaul of that product based on the zoning map as opposed to the, was essentially the 2003 current land use. Does that make sense?
So mine's a different question.
Go for it.
Your maps are not on the GIS for Green Lake County?
I don't believe that we have the land use, either the current or the future land use. May have at one time, but not the past several years at least.
And that's what this is, right? The $800 would be to put the
Yeah,
map on GIS, so if you click,
yeah, it should be able to be layered similarly to our interactive zoning map.
okay.
And then when you ask, I think, Victoria, I think the simplest answer is, this is just the tool, completing a very old tool, to be able to make better informed decisions when it comes to that comprehensive plan.
Yeah, I think where I'm getting a little bogged in the weeds is, I recall being on planning commission that we tried year after year to get our maps updated. So we're putting these old maps that aren't updated out on GIS, is what I'm hearing.
Not the old maps, they want to make the new maps so that they are. They're not, the old maps aren't compatible.
Right.
And so that's why they're making this, instead of spending the hours and the work that it would take to conform an old map, they're redoing brand new ones so that they are compatible to 2026. Otherwise, they were 20-year-old plus maps.
With all the changes that should have been implemented
Correct.
along the way.
They would be updated, yep.
You might remember that map that we have with all the posted notes on it. They do have that in their possession, and that's certainly being taken into account as well.
So all the changes, posted notes that we try to get incorporated into maps that could be used by planning commission are going to be added into this change.
Yep, absolutely. And that's a good thing to add that I didn't even have on the notes, but yeah, that's absolutely part of that process.
Okay, thank you.
Have you talked to the county about doing this at all?
Tara has a
Yep.
I know that I know that we had in 2003 as far as layers go, in their possession.
I'm just one, I mean, I guess I don't know what they're,
You mean, is Jerry gonna do it?
yeah, what you
Is this for the county GIS or is this just internal? Because NSA does our GIS, like,
Yeah, this is just like the internal and what would be interactive for the public.
well, because if I go look up taxes
Right.
on the county website, I'm on the county GIS,
Mhm.
and I can still look at everything on the Berlin side of it. So that's why I'm wondering, is this a county thing? Are they gonna be getting the maps to upload onto that, or how is this working? Because you guys should be using the same system in theory, that's how the taxes are, you're on the same system.
And certainly make sure that they have that in their possession essentially as an update, especially knowing that they're going through comprehensive planning as well.
I just am wondering if it's something they would do. I mean, they have a full-time GIS person.
You mean create the map?
Yeah.
Or add it as a layer, like-
GIS staff member at the county.
So integrate, I'll say that I've seen it before in I've used other counties' GIS maps. And it pops up as a layer, right? You can see the different layers, you can have the different layers. So what you're suggesting or asking is if we're going to implement our new layers with the county's, database so that we can see that all in one spot.
Oh, and or whether the county can do this.
Right.
Whether it would be cheaper through them or not.
Well, I think the map itself is created as part of the comprehensive plan process, because we have to figure out what goes where and what it should be. The actual creation of the map, I think I'm connected with you, but I don't know that they would want to take on figuring that part out. Does that make sense? What I'm getting at? I'm gonna understand.
I'm just rereading MSAs. Rather than attempting to update the outdated data set, MSA proposes using the city's current zoning map as a foundational layer for developing a new accurate ELU. This approach will ensure that the resulting map is consistent with current land use patterns, aligns with regulatory frameworks, and can be reliably used by city staff for future planning inquiries. I did see the GIS mentioned, did I miss?
No, it is in there, but the GIS,
And to integrate.
I
the
apologize.
concepts into the
I thought that was for the city's GIS, like we have GIS for all the water utility and so you can see the lines, you know, like where the mains are and all that kind of stuff, so I apologize, I thought that this was for that version, like the city's
So
version.
yeah, that's not what I'm thinking of, what the public will be seeing
Right,
on like, this should be integrated into both.
right. I get what you're,
Okay,
because if I'm personally going on and I wanna see somebody's property, I'm not coming to the city, I'm going to the Green Lake County GIS viewer.
Right.
certainly. But does it, I apologize, I haven't spent enough time on there, does it show that for the other communities in
Absolutely,
the county?
The little layer.
the layer, yeah.
The zoning maps and the,
So Matt, yes,
okay,
If Jerry has that information, he'll put it on there.
so like here's a word layer. Here's a school layer. There's none of those, is there a flood layer? So those are all,
yeah, I'm just sort of like, this would be the ELU map, the
Yes.
zoning map,
Yep.
there's
yep,
all of those. Okay, we'll have to.
So you're saying rather than just share that information, can they create?
Yeah, I didn't know if that was something that they would be doing or not. I guess I don't know where the boundary is between city, county quite exactly. Like,
Yeah, I guess I don't know for
because
sure.
we do have our own planning and zoning commission, I think it is different. We probably do have to pay for them, but they need to be put up on the website. On the county website, it needs to be integrated.
Once created,
As
send that to them.
Yeah,
Okay, and that's, I know I've talked with them about, I mean, they were the ones that actually shared the best quality version of the 2003 information that started this process, so that it would make sense to absolutely, once there's a finished product, make sure that's in their possession as well, and any other jurisdictions that are cooperated with.
I'm finding all kinds of new layers now on the GIS that I didn't know about.
It's over there having fun. I'll make a motion to waive review by the committee of the whole and approve $800 be added to the comprehensive planning services agreement with NSA, total of $30,780, exceeding the budgeted amount by $780 to create an existing land use map and add it to the city's online GIS, authorizing the zoning administrator to sign the amendment.
I'll second.
Motion by Victoria, second by Sam. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Number 20 is ordinance 01-26, an ordinance to repeal and recreate portions of chapter 54 entitled Solid Waste and Recycling of the City of Berlin Municipal Code regarding the collection of solid waste and recycling materials and related services.
So we've been talking about this ordinance for some time because we need to update the ordinance if the council would like to move forward in 2027, the 2026 tax bills to implement a fee for recycling. As well as the fact that the DNR has updated some of the language that they require in ordinances for recycling. So we're going to do this all at once. It has to be done by April. So this was sent to the DNR and they didn't have any concerns with the language, just asked me to send it to them once it's completely approved. So, any questions?
Which section was changed by the DNR?
Oh, I apologize, I didn't highlight, but mostly what, they changed were like notification requirements and rules. I can bring that back for you if you'd like to see a marked up version. It really wasn't anything that I would say is substantial, if that makes sense. Because everything in here that is changed, that's not referring to the being able to have the fee is DNR stuff.
Usually when like there's a change in language, there's something like off to the side to say this is the change section, so that would be helpful. Just so I don't have to like read 10 pages just to guess what the change was.
Sure, so I think I gave you the marked up version last time, but my apologies. And I just gave you the final version this time, because we've talked about this a couple of times. But we can bring it back and I can give you a markup if you're more comfortable.
No, I don't. I'm okay with it this time.
Looking for a motion then if anybody has any questions.
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 0126 to recreate portions of chapter 54 ordinance entitled Solid Waste and Recycling of the City of Berlin Municipal Code regarding the collection of solid waste and recycling materials and related services.
I'll second.
Motion by Victoria, second by Sam, roll call please.
Neighbor,
No.
Frisbee,
Absent.
Hill,
Aye.
White. Aye. Sorensen,
Aye.
Stubby.
Aye.
4.
Motion passes. Number 21 is discussion of the City Aquatic Center, possible steps and possible referendum. Back when we discussed last, we had requested that the pool discussion be brought back in January to further discuss long-term possibilities. So Jesse has come up with a possible next step, which would be going out to RFP. I don't know, Jesse, you want to go over the 3 options that you were thinking or any other?
Oh, sure, of course. So what I'm suggesting is going out to RFPs or request for proposals and requesting 3 different things. And any firm could choose to bid on any combination of them, all three, just one, whatever makes sense to them. And so what I think we would be requesting would be a plan to update the facility all at once. So one major project, and you could ask for enhancements as well or not. Secondly, to do so in phases, because we talked about that before too, maybe you break it into a 3-year project or whatever. So if they could give us what they feel the best version moving forward in a phased approach would be. And thirdly, would be to make the site ready for a new whatever. So basically demolish and bring it back to vacant parcel, so that then you could move forward with potentially in the future, a new pool, a skate park, apartment complex, I don't know what that is. But if we do that, I think that we will see some ideas or, get some better cost estimates. So we would need to be very upfront when we put this RFP out, that the council has not determined the future of this pool at this time. So the council could choose to move forward with any one of the 3 options that could be provided by any of the firms submitting, could choose to do nothing at this time, or could choose to simply use those numbers that come through as the basis for a potential referendum question.
So would this RFP be us still owning the property, or would it be them purchasing it and then creating these things? So you want them to create a plan and then we would have to pay them to do the plan, is what our thoughts are?
So this are, as I was suggesting, it would still be the city's pool. This is just
That's
our
kind of a lot of work for, I don't know, for
And
somebody
that's
to offer.
there's- yeah.
I mean, I don't think we're gonna get very many offers with that, it's a lot of work for somebody to do, to be like, well, I'm gonna do all this for.
And there could very well be nobody interested, we don't get any RFPs. The RFP isn't going to cost us anything other than if I don't know where you plan on posting. But things like League of Municipalities, where a lot of municipalities are posting, we have free listings. So if anything, I think your hope was to generate anything at this point. Anybody that could come forward that might have another idea, or somebody that has been maybe following this that has other options, ideas. Jesse brought this to me and I thought it was a good idea we don't really have any other options at this point other than the possibility of going to referendums, but we don't have new costs of anything for that matter. The cost of everything that we have, or the one proposal we had, is over 2 years old now. I feel like this was not a bad idea to try to come up with some kinds of solutions, and it's not gonna cost us anything.
And it doesn't have to be, as I've kind of outlined it here, if you wish to do an RFP just for, for somebody, what they would do with the parcel.
Just a question, yeah.
Right, like we could try to design one that way so that anybody, so if somebody wanted to buy it and tear it down and
Could we
create.
donate it to somebody with these stipulations, like this is my plan, this is what you're gonna fund to do it?
Sure, and I think we can formulate the RFP. I mean, I'd probably have to talk to the city attorney a little bit more to make sure that we do this correctly. But yeah, it doesn't have to be the 3 things that I said. It can be whatever information you want to try to gain, if there's a better way to do that. I do think you're right, we may have some firms that only fill out one portion of it because that's their shtick. Or we may have some that say, if they haven't decided for sure they're doing this, I'm not putting the time into it, I don't know. But yeah, I think we have to figure out a better cost estimate before going to RFP. Unless you just want,
RFP for
referendum.
I do like this idea of opening it up to not just fully restoring, but also the partial restoring or restoring in phases. Because there have been a number of people that have spoken to me about wanting to do this piece or that piece, but not the whole project. And so if we can open that up to say partial restorations or piece restorations, and how they would propose, for example, doing the electrical or doing the pump or something like that. I think we could get better pricing than maybe what we had gotten back on a full remodel. And I would love to see those prices.
I do think if, and I don't know if, at what point you wish to go to referendum, but if you wish to go to referendum, you have to first figure out what that question is going to be. And so depending on what that question is going to be, having, accurate numbers is, probably more helpful than not. A referendum question has to be to the county at least 10 weeks prior to the election on which it's going to be placed. So we wouldn't want to try to do this until August for sure. And to be perfectly honest,
You want to do it in November?
you would have probably farmer voters in November. And you want to make sure, one, that you're getting the question that you want answered. And two, the wording of that question is incredibly important because it needs to be very clear to people what you are asking and what a yes would mean and what a no would mean. So that, when you get the response back from the community, they do exactly.
I also think that would be beneficial for the community to see whether it affects them or not, that it's closed here. Maybe it will affect them, maybe it won't, but I think it would help them determine like, oh my gosh, I really do miss the pool, or it's not that big of a deal in my day-to-day life.
You mean having it closed this year?
Yes, by having it closed before the referendum.
If you're gonna go to referendum in November and you want numbers, we have to figure out how to get those numbers in enough time to have a question that's out there for enough time that people can make the best decision for themselves, right? To provide that to you guys, so then you can move forward however you choose to do so. So,
Did you tell us before too that the referendums are binding now, right?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, and I mean, so there are lots of pieces to this puzzle. Some, you could go down the road of, okay, the council will move forward with whatever that is, restoration, enhancements, whatever, phased approach, pending so much funding you raise or something like that. So you'd have to, have all of that very clear and figured out before you can put it on the ballot.
We had the engineering plan last time that laid out all the, was that 50,000? Am I imagining that, right? Was that about the right number of what it costs? So like, even if we did want to go to referendum, we'd have to figure out how to raise the money again, or where it's gonna come from again, to do another updated plan. I mean, who knows where stuff is going to be.
Study.
Yeah. I'm trying to, like, where are we at now, 2 years later? Has there been more things that have gotten worse, or especially if it's closed this year, but just updated numbers at that? Like, would we have, if we went with the same firm, could they give us updated numbers based on their last plan? Or would we have to go all over again? I don't know what their, not their warranty, but their quote, how good was their quote for, like, would they feel comfortable re-quoting us numbers based on that last plan? Or would they have to go back from square one again? I don't know what that looks like. I don't remember what those talks were. But yet again, I don't think we thought about that back then when we did that. Unless somebody else remembers, I don't.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember from that engineering quote if they talked about the longevity of the quote, like how good it was for. I don't remember.
Because what my concern was is if we were to go to referendum and that's what council decided, we can't go to referendum without updated numbers, right?
Well, that's what we're talking about. That's why we're doing RFPs, to get them.
Right, in hopes that we get some updated numbers, but is somebody gonna give those to us for free? I don't know. I think this is kind of a wish. I think we'll have some answers at the end of this, but how long what was your idea for keeping it open? Or we just kind of reevaluate month after month to see if there's anything, or do you have to put an expiration date on that?
I think you need to put an expiration date on there so firms know what the time period is, so you can get their information in. Yeah,
What were you leaning towards on that time frame?
well, depending on what information you were asking for from them in the RFP, I mean, if you are,
Would you make accessible to them that old can we even do that old plan? Say somebody did wanna come in and write a new quote for us. Are we legally able to give them that old plan?
My assumption would be, yes, that it's a public document, but I can certainly double check.
So that's at least-
I imagine if we paid for it, it's ours.
Right.
Yeah.
I would assume that, but I'm.
And that's just
Prefer
it,
to
we
double
paid,
check that.
we paid how many thousands of dollars for that plan? We should be able to provide that at minimum, I mean, that's the most updated document we would have on all of those logistics. Like, is a month or 2 months?
Yeah, I think it really depends on what we were going to ask them to compile. If we were going to ask them to compile a plan to, redo the pool, to bring it in, up to spec of what you want, I'm imagining that that's pretty elaborate. If we're asking them basically to tell us what, to give us an RFP to design something and all of that,
And
and
get new quotes
and
on
what
that
the
too.
estimate they think would be for the design, that's different too. I mean, there are a lot of different ways that you can do this.
I think a new design would be a great number to have in mind too, for the community, like, hey, this is what it would cost to restore our pool, but this is what it would cost to put a new one in, a new updated.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to put options, restore, full, partial, reimagine, or demolish.
Yeah.
You could put all those words in the RFP to say, tell us what you think to use this space for and how much it would cost. But I love the idea because it does, I want to be able to get more people in there to look at it, to see what can be done.
Okay, so I guess, are we looking for them to tell us what it would cost to prepare that plan? Or are we asking them for what it would cost to do the pool? What exactly, because those timeframes are different.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
To do the pool.
To do the pool.
To do the pool?
Yeah.
Because I don't know too, we could look at that as a potential bid rather than RFP as well. Just doing that, okay, we need the pool restored to its heyday however many years ago. And
I think a bid sounds better than the RFP to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because you can still reject all bids if it comes back and it's, I have no idea, but far more than the community feels is practical, then you say, this is outside of our wishes. So if you really want numbers of what it would cost, then I think it may be a bid, which is kind of similar to, I think we could give them a little check, right? We could give them the study that was done and say, okay, we want to do this. Give us a bid to.
I think you'd get more
complete it.
responses too than if you ask for all of the other stuff.
So if we, and then just to go back to, if we were to say compile a bunch of stuff and we got these new numbers and we wanted the possibility of going to a referendum this November,
That's not.
what is our deadline for that? Or when do we want to
10
have,
weeks before, right?
10 weeks before technically you have to have the language. to the
September,
county.
somewhere in August, right?
so August?
But I'm gonna tell you, you don't wanna make this sound rushed either,
No,
right? I mean,
I'm just trying to like gauge if we, so say we would want to know absolutes by July,
That's way too late.
June,
June works.
May. I'm just trying to think of, because then we're January here, if this isn't gonna get out to February, how many months are we leaving this open? February, March,
April.
You have
So
to
that gives
think
us-
that you have to come up and formulate a question. I would not think that
and then
that's
Layered
gonna be done
numbers
in a
and-
month. Based on what we get back, there could be a month or two worth of conversation over that. I would not.
so if we leave this open for a month or two, so February, March, that gives us April, so only a month?
What?
I'm trying
We're
to go
chopping
backwards.
so many months out of this.
I know.
If November is the election and August is when they have to know the referendum, and we discuss for June and July, then we could have that thing open until May.
But we also have to talk numbers wise. I'm sure Baird would have to come again and have to prepare hypotheticals and what the borrowings and everything would look like. I'm just stepping backwards, like how long do we need to leave this open for in order to,
Well,
and what time do we have to have it closed by, I guess?
Well, and two, you wanted to think about, I don't know what the appropriate time frame is, but once you've developed that question, you are gonna need to make sure that you provide information to the community as to what that question means. Okay, so if we're gonna borrow whatever amount of money, what does that look like per thousand, on their tax rate?
Right, but we
And-
don't know that until we know.
Do we have any kind of plans,
We
right?
don't have any information, so it's kind of hard to discuss what that's gonna look like now without even.
And that's, I was just trying to gauge like if November was even a possibility.
Oh.
I was just trying to move backwards and see like, okay, if we're starting this now,
What
I'm
if
trying
we
to
did
see
a
if that's
90-day bid? 90 days would be like early April. Yeah,
that miraculously something came through that we all were just,
What happens if we get no bids?
then we go nowhere.
We
We don't go to
decide.
a referendum. We decide what the next step is.
Yeah, we
Because, and I think that that's something we also need to prepare for. Because there's a very good chance that nobody wants to sink that kind of time, money, and effort into a decision like this, but it's somewhere to start.
Mhm.
I like the idea of a 90-day.
I think that's doable.
It's not gonna hurt anything.
Well, the bid has to be written and approved by you guys. So if I can get it done for you for February, and it's 9 days from that, just so
Sure,
we're
right,
all
no,
on the
yeah,
same,
no,
like, it's
yes.
not,
There's no rush for this. I think this is a good idea. Let's thoughtfully word it. I think we all understand that this isn't happening tomorrow. So we'll look for, if it's ready by February for us to review, great. If not, we go whenever you have it ready for us.
because I mean, you can decide later too which election it makes sense to move forward.
Right, and I wasn't trying to rush. I was just trying to see if we
Yeah,
were
it makes sense.
trying to set deadlines and timelines, if that was a goal, if it was even doable. That's all I was trying to go.
Yeah, that's perfectly fair. I just wanna make sure everybody realizes like, I can't issue the bid tomorrow.
No,
Right.
No,
I don't have the
no.
thing ready.
Everything moves at the pace of government.
Are you able to do the RFPs simultaneously with the bids, like run two? So that if somebody else does have an idea, they can offer it, because if we get no bids and we get an RFP with a different idea, well, maybe, but
Well,
just to keep things moving.
I think the bids can be different ideas too, though. It doesn't have to just be the original idea, right? The bids could, if we
No.
word it so that the bids could be,
I think the bids have to be like, to replace it, fix it, make it up to date.
So an RFP is a request for proposals. Those can be different from each firm or whatever. But typically a bid is, this is the work we want done. How are you going to do it and at what cost? So a bid would be potentially,
Repairs.
here is the report that we had done. And it, at that time estimated the $2 million.
Those are the numbers.
Right, so we want to know if we move forward with all of this work being done, and you were gonna do this work for us, what would the cost be?
yes, but all the way up until we said the word bid, we were talking about offering multiple options
That's an RFP.
and providing the document that we created or bought to them to create those multiple options. And then you said, well, we could just go to bid with it.
Because we all
Right way.
wanted numbers.
Yeah, they're different, but similar.
Yeah, I get that, I'm following, but
Okay,
what I don't understand is why can they not create bids for part projects, 3 years out projects, like why does it have
Because
to be the
ultimately you
one?
need a solid number in order to go to referendum.
Yes, solid number bid with a am I not making sense? We talked about multiple approaches to the repair of the pool or demolishment or blah, 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 right? And that was gonna be RFP. Then we said, well, we could supply them with the document that we already have, and they could use that as a basis for creating their bids, so we could just send it to bid. But I did not realize that that closed out other options as far as like, could we do it in 3-year phases? Could we do it in, like, why does that putting it to bid close out the other options approach? I don't get that.
So it would all be the same work. You're just suggesting that they bid on both as one large project or a phased project, but it's the same work.
Or I think Victoria liked the idea of seeing the different options of maybe they had a new, bid per se for a brand new pool or different options or
To fully restore, to restore.
but you combine the
phases, to
both and get
demolish.
bids for all of
See,
it.
I think if you combine them both, it sounds too vague, everyone's gonna be like, forget this project. If you separate them, they can be like, okay, maybe they want ideas for something new, or like, okay, I can bid this, I can give offers to restore it, but I think when you smush it all together, there's a lot going on there, and it's difficult to siphon through.
My concern about going out to bid and RFP at the same time is that I think they're not gonna think we're serious.
Cause we're just
So
looking.
we need to
for
like
plans.
decide one or the other. So do we wanna do something else with the space and take ideas, or go to referendum? With numbers?
You could do an RFP, for proposals for the space and see what comes back and then determine, okay, they had agreed, somebody wants us to donate it to them to do X, or somebody's willing to buy it and do Y. Or you come back and you say, none of these options are better than the pool. None of these, or somebody has a pool on there, I don't know. And then you kind of back where you are, but you've given people an opportunity to throw out other options. There are lots of different ways you can go with this. I don't know what you think the best path is.
I think I just misunderstood when we jumped straight from RFP to we could just go to bid, that I assumed that all of that would be, as you said, smushed together. So knowing that it can't be, or that it would be messy, I would go back to the RFP option and not the bid option. Because I feel like we need more input from more people than just one big, huge project.
Okay. Well, then I guess my question would be, do you want the RFP to be more vague? To be, the city has this pool and parcel right here. What do you propose, or what would you do with it? If, what would you pay for it, what would it have to be donated to you, whatever, and what would you do with it? And then from that, you could determine which of the options were best, or if none of them met your standards.
Could we also to try to incorporate the best of both worlds, the RFP and the bid? Could you include in there that we have whatever documents we have as far as the engineering plan?
And they're welcome to them.
And that they're welcome to them to feed off of that, to put in a RFP like a bid for, so it's still, it doesn't cut out those people that might be able to give us a bid on renovating the pool.
I don't see why we can't tell them what information we have available and that they are more than welcome to utilize what they wish, if that's, where you wanna go with it.
Because these RFPs then could turn into a bid process.
Certainly.
So I think,
Where it is.
yeah. And again, we're not in a rush for this, so I don't see the issue with starting with the RFP. And we could leave that open for 60 days. And then if we have nothing, go to a bid and see if, hey, these are the plans we have, we're looking for somebody for numbers. And then if we don't get anything after that, then we tried, we did our due diligence to try to offer this up to anyone.
So, I am for the RFP. I actually like the wording that you have in that paragraph. Fully restore and possibly enhance in phases over time, demolish, or make it site shovel ready for a new project. I think that that's great wording for kind of encompassing, like, what's your idea?
Well, I guess that's my question, do you want to leave it to where it's just the pool or it's demolished, or do you want it to be more general, like we talked about, where any group or firm could suggest a different use for that and they own it?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then that's different language.
I think we're gonna get more people interested if that's the case.
I personally don't like that option. The reason why I don't like that option is because it gives the impression that we're willing to take the pool completely off the table, and that I want to seek to give the impression that the first option is to try to figure out how, if we can save the pool. And if we say, or do you want to just get rid of it and make a mall, I'm just being weird, then now we're saying, or we'll just give this thing up entirely. And I understand that that's an option down the road, but I don't know if I want that. I wouldn't want that to be option one.
We were all just willing to give it to a nonprofit, so why couldn't we say that?
Well, all is a big word, because I was.
Okay, the majority of us we were willing to do that, so why wouldn't we put those words in?
I don't know, any other input? That's just my personal thought. There's 7 of us or whatever.
So could we do an RFP for number 1 and number 2 for 60 days? If we don't get anything, then put it out to bid to give us your best shot, or what do you want to do with it? Demolish, skating ring, whatever.
I think that's what the RFP is. The request for proposal, I think, was the suggestion of, what do you want to do with it, up to and including demolition?
No, I'm saying as a compromise, you don't want to demolish, you want the RFP to be either fully restore or restore in phases. Do that for 60 days. If we don't get anything, then just put it out to bid for whatever, right?
Bid or revamp the RFP.
I think she needs to revamp the RFP.
Maybe I just don't want to talk about.
No, because bid is like, how much would it cost you to do the product we have, right? The engineering plan project that we have.
At the end of the day, we're not locked into these. I don't see what the hurt is to open it all up and see what everybody's ideas are. We're just kicking the can, so just open it up. Maybe there's some great ideas out there that are just waiting to be heard. I say we open it up. We can always, at the end of the day, we can assess them and we can say, no, we're not ready to go that route, but thank you for whoever decides that they want to make it a mall. We don't have to go with that if we think that that's not the best interest for the community. But we're just kicking the can,
I understand.
I'm fine leaving it open.
so we're leaving it open to the way she has it listed, the 1, 2, or the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Are you good with that, Misty?
For start with 60 days? Or do you want to do the 90?
Okay, I'm confused.
We're back to RFP the way you have it written, 1, 2, and 3.
So we're not requesting other options.
Well, the other option was demolish the pool and make it,
That was your third option.
oh, sorry, or 3. Do we want to add the 4th then, is what I guess.
What's the fourth?
Any other options, or we wait until this
Any
one is
other
done?
options, okay.
Wait until this one's done, we don't have any takers, and then we open it up? Because demolish is just as bad.
Right, but number
What's
3
the
says
difference?
demolish the pool and make the site shovel-ready for a new project. It doesn't define that it's a pool project, it just says a new project.
Right, but we're not asking them to tell us what that project is.
That's
That's
just shovel ready.
Just shovel ready, so it would go back to a vacant lot, basically.
So are you asking for a 4th, say, what would you do in place of that?
She's not asking, I suggested this.
Oh, I
I
thought
would be
Christina
fine
was
with
suggesting
adding
it,
that.
sorry.
Yeah, maybe somebody's got that out there. If we're putting the time in, let's just get it all back. Let's
I'm fine adding that as an option.
add in a fourth of.
Yeah, the fourth, I would say 90 days.
So
I would agree.
add in a fourth of basically all other ideas. I don't know how to word
I
that.
think 60 is enough to.
Let's do
And
90
90
days.
days then, because we added the fourth.
Okay, well, I'll do my best to bring something back to you soon. I hope I've interpreted what you're saying, and if not, you can
Put that into Chat GPT and see what it comes up with.
you can tweak and redirect, you know, I don't know, I can definitely understand the concerns that were conveyed about whether or not somebody is going to take this on if there are so many options. Because they may not think that we're serious, I don't know, I mean, I can certainly understand that perspective.
Maybe there's even other businesses in town that have been waiting for this opportunity to put together some kind of an RFP for us.
There are.
Who knows? Well, then here we go.
Okay, all right, well, to be continued, and I will start working on this. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, on to number, I don't know where it's at. Number 22, old business, to be used to request items of old business. Anybody have any old business they want to bring back? Number 23 is new business, to be used to request items of new business to be put on a future agenda. And then 24 is we're looking for motion to go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.851C considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. And this is for the consideration of compensation of the EMS director and the performance evaluation of the city administrator.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Victoria, second by Samantha. Roll call, please.
Neighbor.
Aye.
Griswold. Hoyt.
Aye.
Sorensen.
Aye.
Stubby. Aye. Hill.
Aye.
All right, into closed session. We
Sure you
shall-
caught a mic.
Do you want me to say you do the